What is up, internets? It's that time of week again, doing another video. Like I said, I'm gonna try and make this a weekly thing. Gonna try and carry one of my knives for 2 weeks and bring it to you guys. And not really a review, well, kinda, but kinda not. More just like telling you my impressions on knives after carrying them for 2 weeks and if I do or not like them and or why. So those of you who are new to my channel, I swear a lot. Sorry. That's just how it goes. I tend to ramble. I go on tangents and kind of go wherever I want with whatever the fuck I want. And I would like to bring you guys more specs, but as of right now, I just have a couple of tools. One being a stainless steel ruler, and one being a thickness gauge. And I don't know if we'll bust out the thickness gauge today. I probably want to upgrade that too eventually, to leave that for another time. So anyway, what we are doing today is we are talking about the kryo2. This knife I kind of wore down. I was kind of on the fence on the cryo for a long time. You know, I was watching them like fucking 5 years ago when it was everywhere. And I was like, I don't know. I don't fucking know. I don't know what I want. I don't know. So, but then, like I said, where I work, they started carrying them. Waited till it went on sale, and I was like, fuck it, why not? Let's do this. So I went with the black Stonewash Tonto, because again, that's what they sold at my work. I wish we carried the drop point one, but I thought this one was kind of cool because it has one of those compound grinds on the blade area. Nice little swedge, and it's just like a cool little design. So I thought, fuck it, why not? So yeah, let's jump right into it. So the only specs I'm really gonna give you is the blade is 2 3/4, and the knife overall is 6.5 inches. The width at the handle, half an inch. Goddamn. And then did I do that right? Did I fucking do that right? No. 3/4 of an inch. Not 3/4. I can't think today. I can't do fucking math. It's just not that thick. One-third of an inch. I'm a fucking idiot. Yeah, so it's not too bad. It's a little on the thin side. It's all right. It's a little chunky. It's moderate. We'll say moderate. Yeah. So we got a moderate thickness on the grip. We have a frame lock design. We got the overstop travel bar there on the frame. Like I said, we already talked about the grind. HCR13 MOV for the blade. We got a stainless steel body on the frame. We got a 4-point adjustable clip. I put a little skull lanyard on there myself, because as you can see, the only texture on here is a little bit of jimping, and it actually works pretty good. Not so much on the frame. I don't know if it's from polishing after stonewashing, but the frame jimping, it's, I'd say, like a light traction. Like, you do get a little bit of traction, but not really. The blade jimping, really good traction. The knife is a little small in my hand, but the width of the knife is actually pretty good. So it fills out the hand really nicely, which I really like for a work knife. When I'm doing hard work, hard cutting, when I'm going through industrial double layered fucking glued uh cardboard, I really like a thicker handle, something that fills out the hand, just because it makes it easier to get through all those layers and actually cut in and get some bite into the whatever material you're cutting into if you're doing heavy work. So I like a little bit of width this way in the handle, just because it'll actually give you something to hold on to while you're doing work. But overall, I haven't had too much issues with the slickness of the knife because I use a PVC coated glove when I'm working, like really grippy stuff. So no matter what knife I'm using, not a fucking issue. But also, again, without the gloves, it isn't too bad either because the jumping here actually kind of grips. The jumping here actually works. And this guy here, the flipper tab, holds this guy in pretty nicely. This has the kryo2 speed safe. They usually put it all over their fucking knife. Goddamn. Anyway, yeah, so this has the speed safe assist. Oh, there we go. Right there under kryo2. Sorry. Yeah, there we go. Right under the speed safe. Or right under the kryo2 logo. Yeah, they put their speed safe on there. Again, you can see the wear starting to roll in on the blade. It's wearing pretty nicely, pretty evenly. It's not too bad. So yeah, I really like how all the folds on the grinds are wearing off pretty nicely. All the lines here. And what I was saying about the compound grind when I was talking about that is here on the Tonto, it's a full flat grind, and then here on the belly, on the recurve, it's a hollow grind. So this is more of a convex, and this is a full flat grind. So this is one continuous grind, and this has like it's a hollow ground blade. It's been a long week, guys. So a little look into me. I'm now working overnights, and so now when I'm doing these videos like noon, it's literally still in the middle of the night for me. So either way, always tired as fuck. But anyway, sorry. The knife is a little on the heavy side. I don't know the weights because, again, I don't have the fucking scale to fucking prove it. But with the full scale knife and no milling out, yeah, this thing is kind of a tank. But I kind of like that. This thing is like literally overbuilt from the thickness of the blade to the thickness of the scales. Yeah, this thing is just beastly. And the other nice thing about this knife too, especially with the stainless steel frame, is that I can't hurt this knife. Literally, like I fucking tried. I held no punches. Like I said at the other place, or like I said in the last video, I do retail and I stock shelves. So I open boxes, toss it around, throw it on the floor, throw it on the shelf. I don't give a fuck when I'm done with the knife. I just toss it around. Because I believe I should be as hard as I want on my tools, and I believe that they should be able to take it. But this knife, yeah, it literally does. This thing is taking a fucking beating, and like the only where it is shown is on the blade cutting through material. The frame itself, I mean, is held up nicely. Some of the black wash is worn off on the grip, so it's a little more on the silver side up front here. But I think that looks kind of cool if I have this here and it kind of wears around the edge. I think that's pretty sweet. But yeah, the assist is nice. It makes sure the knife opens every time. The spring tension isn't that bad for how fast the knife flies out. Like when you're closing it, it's not like doing a thumb workout. You're not like, fuck, goddamn. Like at the end of the day, you don't even notice the effort in putting into closing this knife with the spring assist, which is really nice. The swage is cool. again, like I said, the thickness of the blade, and you got a decent tip on the knife, so I wouldn't really worry about destroying this thing. Um, just because the thickness of the blade. Um, like I said, I've stabbed into media and used this thing as an awl. Like when I'm working with the trash compactor making a bale, I kind of have to ginsu up the cardboard a little bit, and I have to get creative. So I have stabbed this thing into like multiple layers of cardboard and used it as an awl. And the tip is still perfect. There's no bending in the blade. There's no marring. And it's still holding a nice center on the blade itself. Um, but I guess the one complaint I would have, if there's any other complaint out there, is the steel used for the blade. Um, I don't know if it's the heat treat. I don't know if it's Kershaw. I don't know if it's the HCR13. But this steel, this specific blade, I don't know about the other ones because I own this one, but the steel on this specific blade is a little on the soft side. So, day and a half use, maybe 1 day use, you'll get out of this knife. From what I've noticed, if you're using this for a work knife, if you're using this out of its role and using this as a beater knife, as a work knife, I've had to hand sharpen this thing every other day so far after using this thing for 2 weeks. I mean, and you know, and that I was just like, oh, I wish I didn't have to because I love this knife and I'd carry it more often. But like, if I just EDC'd this thing, used it to open clam packages, letters, boxes, here and there, it would be a great fucking knife. It'd be like the one knife for the rest of my life. But as a work knife, as a utility knife, and since that cuts into my EDC, no pun intended, um, I just, the soft steel is just kind of a downer for me. On an amazing knife, it's just, it doesn't cut it. No pun intended. After a day and a half, it doesn't cut it. Zing! Sorry, I'm an idiot. But yeah, but no, yeah, the softness of the blade and the recurve is kind of an adjustment on how to use the knife. Because on this side of the belly, it's really nice as a push. On this half, it's nice as a pull. Especially since it comes up to this point here. I was like, once this goes dull, it's nice to have this as a secondary point on the knife, especially with this recurve. So if you're opening things this way and this part of the knife goes dull, you have a secondary inch right here that you can also use as a pull cut or a draw cut. And then down here for breaking down boxes, I noticed that this part of the belly is really good for a push cut, and it's really nice. The especially with the swedge, the tanto, the full flat grind, the tip of this thing is just really nice for piercing. So if you really need to use this thing to get into something, it does it. Like I said, I've abused this thing. I've used it as an awl. I've tried prying light things with it, and it's held up really nice so far. I don't know if I'd like really hard abuse this as a pry bar, just because this doesn't, in my opinion, might not have the strongest pivot. But aside from that, if you need a knife to abuse, if you need a knife for an EDC, if you like something on the smaller edge, but you like something stout, built like a tank, you can't fucking destroy, this is the Glock. This is the Glock of the knife world. It doesn't have much flair to it. It's a good utility knife. It's a good EDC. I guess a utility if you're not hard using it. If you're hard using it, you get ready to be amazing at sharpening knives because you're going to be sharpening this thing a lot. But I guess I'm going to cut this video a little short today because this is all I have to say about the Kershaw Kryo 2. So you guys have a great week, an amazing work day, and an evening. Get out, enjoy your life, go do some shit, explore, and have a good time. Get some experiences. This is Davis, signing out.